Years ago, I was sitting in my cell at the Abbey, and a letter came out of the blue from a poor Clare convent of perpetual adoration. For some reason, one of the nuns was writing, and I happened to answer back that I was in the process of giving a course of lectures there for the novitiate on the theme of spiritual friendship. And immediately a letter came back. We haven't that course here. Could you give it to us? So off I went and gave it to this very large community of poor Clares up in the north of Italy. It involved actually not just Christian notions but pre-Christian ones, quoting the ancient authors. For the likes of Cicero had gone into this in some depth, De Amicitia. It had been taken up, of course, by the Christian authors, not least our great Augustine, again, De Amicitia. And he was one who confessed that he could not live without friends, and he insisted on the quality of friendship, and he had it written on the wall of his refectory: no one has place at this table who eats his brother. And then I went on to discuss and quote our own great Aelred, the good abbot, the abbot there of Rievaulx in England. And Cistercian life is based also on the sacrality of communion and quality of relationship in a shared desert, for they are virtual hermits, the cell being the solitude of the walls of silence that isolate the soul and protect it in God and for God. When God is loved, the brethren are loved with the same faculty. One cannot love God and not love the brethren. One is otherwise in illusion, as St. John himself warns us. Years later, I happened to be writing to that convent asking whether those conferences which were taped were still there. And back came this long letter. One of the younger ones had actually been writing every word, so pages and pages of the lectures came back. Interesting how in the place of solitude every word has a long echo and a deep reverberation. Quality of life. It starts in the heart. Even on the human level, there are certain things which are constant. There was a film years ago, one of those classic black and white ones, starring David Niven. And there was one line in it which said, as he spoke to his wife, there is nothing more blissful than to be married to one's best friend. If one looks at nature, one sees a lesson which the Lord actually took up in the gospel of this day. From the beginning of creation, God made them male and female. He did not make them for, therefore, going from one to the other, but pairing them up. If one goes to Skellig Michael, one finds that the puffins there mate when they're mature, and for about 24 years come back every year to the same exact spot where they have mated and find their partner again until they die. Even though their faces are all the same to us, they know the partner, but there's only one. How can we love with the same depth when we go from one to the other? All the memories are shared in one case. A life shared leads to deeper love, not something just superficial that can be passed on to another. One can give really only the all to one. But in the Lord, that is done in a different way. However, in him it is a great blessing if one has the support of holy friendship, as Aylward pointed out. He loved his brethren and attracted massive crowds and never turned anyone away. I wrote this some years ago, reflecting on this profound theme of humanity from which no one can escape, even actually in solitude. What is a friend? What is a friend but one that to the end will never cease to be, yet never be a heavy weight to bear? What is a friend but one that utters not, but all can see upon a forehead writ? What is a soul? Aware and ever there, if not a part of what we are, still there, where aeons hold, heed not the universe hid in the heart. For heart and soul find rest when one well known still bids the sun be there, and still be warm within a cosmos chill, and still we own a morsel of the globe where high alarm bids sink into the void the human race. If yet we see the light of one small